Were you going to jump in there?
I was just going to jump in on Mitch McConnell and the headwinds that he was fighting against. 52% of the people in the exit polls said that they viewed him unfavorably. But the problem that Allison Grimes had two-thirds viewed President Obama unfavorably. That explains why she was waffling on whom she voted for. These exit polls, at least from what we're seeing so far from Kentucky, where we have the result of Mitch McConnell. And regarding Virginia, I was told this afternoon by a Democratic operative that they were seeing some trouble for the Democrat, John Warner. John Warner is a highly regarded...
Mark Warner. Right.
Mark Warner, rather. Highly regarded senator. John Warner, the, of course, retired veteran senator there. Mark Warner was the governor, as Gibbs was just pointing out, and he won so handily back in '08, and this would be just a real setback.
It has been off the radar as a potential race.
One caution is that the Washington suburbs come in late.
But if you live in D.C. with me, we both live not the same house, but we live in D.C.
Breaking news, America. It's not what you thought.
The ad campaign in Northern Virginia, which is D.C., has been relentless, Andrea. That has been a highly charged, very nasty campaign. Yeah. I do always root for the guy or the person who takes on the impossible, like I do for Allison Grimes, against somebody you can't beat, and maybe does beat them. I think this Ed Gillespie guy going on against the unbeatable Mark Warner.
And money taken
Warner
away
could be a
by
fascinating
the National Party because they thought it was not
he stopped running ads at a point.
He was an island.
Throughout the night, we're going to be checking with MSNBC host and Telemundo anchor Jose Diaz-Balart, who is in Florida tonight. We're waiting on Florida poll closings at the top of the hour. Jose, what are you seeing on the ground today in Florida and in the sort of closing arguments for this all-important Florida governor's race?
It's really tight, Rachel. Good evening. You know, it could be a fan blade thin difference between the two candidates for the governor's race here in Florida. And Ed was talking about the discrepancy that they're seeing in parts of the country and parts of the state, I should say. We've been keeping a very close watch on the Latino vote in Florida. Up to maybe 19% of the vote in Florida could be Latinos. And it's interesting because the I-4 corridor, which is an area which is predominantly more receptive to Democrats, has been apparently coming out to vote in very large numbers. And specifically in the Miami-Dade area, where the Cuban-American vote is, and that's a vote that traditionally votes very solidly Republican, they have been coming out to vote. But they come out early vote on a strong basis normally. And we're seeing that in early votes, Florida is kind of tied right now. So it's really interesting. I really do think it's going to be a very tight and maybe a long race. Let's see what happens with this procedure that they're asking to extend the voting. And Rachel, in about 15 minutes, the polls close in Florida, in the Panhandle, and so we'll see what happens then.
It's fascinating. The share of the Latino vote, 18% in Florida for that governor's race, 15% in Colorado. It's going to be a total wild card.
I hate talking ethnically all this, but it is fascinating to watch what happened with Michelle Nunn. And as Steve, who's the best in the business right now doing this, it's interesting because she has 27% of the white vote. I hate talking. I feel like we're in South Africa, you know, 27% of the white vote. And yet everybody says he needs, or she needs, 30. It's already written down somewhere exactly what your bar is for each community. I mean, it's pretty awful. Anyway, coming up now, we've got a real... I love incumbents because they're there and they're going to stay there for a while. United States Senator Joe Manchin, who's a Democrat from West Virginia. Senator, thank you for coming on. You must be... there we have a legacy candidate elected, of course. Capito's the daughter of Arch Moore, the Republican governor. A lot of dynasty stuff going around, for better or worse, tonight. Let me ask you about your state. That was the state that Jack Kennedy won. Everybody talked about him winning there, the Roman Catholic winning in that state, which is largely Protestant. Conceded always as a sort of blue-collar, hard knocks Democrat state. Is it coal? Right. Is it guns? Is it culture? What has moved West Virginia into the center-right or right position politically?
Chris, I think it's all the above that you've mentioned, but mostly important is the jobs. We have good jobs here. We have a lot of good opportunities. We provide the energy this country has needed. West Virginia is a hard-working lot of people, and they're very patriotic. And seeing the government, or perception of the government, attacking them, which basically is what's happened, they've lost a lot of these good jobs. Coal's going to be used around the world. It's needed in this country, and we can do it better and cleaner than anybody else. But they believe that the president has doubled down on them, and government, I've always told them, government should be your partner and your friend.
Do you think that hurt Allison Grimes? Let's talk Turkey. Do you think that hurt her in the campaign?
Absolutely. And you look at the coal, you know, no matter what she says, in a cold country, and people that have seen basically firsthand, they're losing jobs, they're losing their economy, and it's an ancillary thing. There's a value-added jobs all the way down the line, and these people are losing their communities, and it's just devastating. And then you see the utility company saying, we need more of a portfolio it's more reliable, that we can provide the energy this country needs. So, you know, it just doesn't make sense that we have to fight so hard against our own government and our own administration and our own president to try to find a balance, and that's all we're looking for. We're not asking for favors. Just let us do the job we've always done for America. West Virginia will do it.
Senator Manchin, now you're going to have a Republican colleague in the Senate. We still don't know if the Republicans are going to have majority control of the Senate. But when you look ahead toward working with the new home state colleague, Shelley Moore Capito, who is going to be on the other side of the aisle, do you feel like you have more overlap with her than differences with her when it comes to substantive policy that affects your state? Do you anticipate that you two might be able to work together across the aisle more closely than people might expect from the two parties?
I think so, because in West Virginia, they expect us to work together. They don't look at the party affiliation and says, oh, you're a Republican, so you're not supposed to work with the Democrats, or vice versa. You're now going there to represent West Virginia. We expect you to do the best for our state. When I was governor, we brought people together, Democrats and Republicans. We looked at our values and who we are as a people, and we voted that way. And then we'd have fun with our politics, but our state, we took our state very serious, and the same thing with our country. We've got to come together. The people are speaking loud and clear. They don't like what they've seen. I don't like what I've been involved with the last 4 years, and I've been very vocal about that, Andrea, and we've got to change. So whether the Republicans take control, whether we stay in control, then it's got to change no matter who's in control, because we can't continue down the path because nothing gets done. People don't have confidence that we can govern ourselves. And when they lose confidence, basically you see what's happened. Our growth has been lethargic. Our economy should be booming right now. And
you know what?
When they have confidence that we can govern, it'll work.
I like that. Both of you, come on, you and your new colleague from West Virginia, come on hardball some night and cook some deals right on the air. I want to see the deal making. I want to see you guys start it together on issues like growth and things like that. Thank you so much. It's always great having you on. Joe Manchin.
One thing you can
What can I do?
You can stir the pot, that's for sure. Chris,
I will play Barbara Walters or Walter Cronkite. I will bring you two warring partners together. Anyway, up next. Thank you, Governor.
Absolutely.
Former Governor. Thank you. More highlights from what you, the voters, are thinking about tonight as you cast your ballot. It's always good to hear from the people in words, not just votes. Plus, Chuck Todd's coming with us. This is MSNBC's live coverage on election night. Back into this.